Hello. Today's podcast guest is Gwen Burchell. Gwen Burchell is a social innovator and key figure in the development of Məktəbim project. Gwen, do you want to add something? Introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Laman. Yes, my name is Gwen, generally referred to as Gwen in Azerbaijan, and I've been here since 1997, my first trip here back in November 1997, and I spent my first 6 months in Azerbaijan just traveling around, visiting many different places around the country and getting to know the country. And then in 1998 I visited a residential institution for children with disabilities, internats. It was commonplace for children to be left by their families because the families were poor, or the child had a disability, or the families were breaking up. And that was really the start of the next 25 years of my work.
Thank you, Gwen. Gwen will share insights about the history of Məktəbim and how it has evolved, as well as the lesson learned along the way. This conversation will also cover Məktəbim strategies for supporting long-term sustainable development and its partnerships, including those with UEFA and Shaki Moki. Gwen, we all know that you collaborate with one of the brands of Azersun, Shaki Moki. Please tell me about these partnerships.
Our partnership with Shaki Moki started 3 years ago. I had the opportunity to meet with senior executives in Azersun, and I explained about this project that I've been leading for a number of years and really needed a strong partner on commercial corporate sector partner. I presented the Məktəbim project to these Azersun executives, and they really liked it. They really thought it was something that Azersun could get behind. After that initial meeting and decision to proceed with the partnership, I then met with two people in the chocolate brands area, and again continued to talk about Məktəbim and introduce the project to them. And how could we work together? And that was when the idea came up about matching Shaki Moki as the leading chocolate spread for children who are our target age for Məktəbim. So it was a very good match in terms of product and project. So that was the starting point of our partnership with Shaki Moki, and it's been a fantastic partnership so far. The capacity of the team at Azersun and the marketing range, extent of marketing that a corporate company, a brand like that is able to achieve is far more than something that we as an NGO can achieve. We're the experts in early childhood development and project development, but we're not experts at all in marketing and being able to reach so many thousands of people the way Shaki Moki has been able to do. So I consider it, and I think our Shaki Moki colleagues consider this to be a very, very perfect partnership.
Thank you. Can you tell me about the history of Məktəbim and what lessons you learned along the way?
So Məktəbim, the concept of Məktəbim started in 2011, 2012. I had been establishing many community-based services for children with disabilities and their families. At one stage we had about 12 running around the country where parents could bring their child and get some services for rehabilitation and development and education. But all parents want their child to be in a typical preschool or a typical primary school. They don't want their child to be separated from other children. We started to partner with another NGO that had been establishing preschools, and they'd established 2 preschools using a business model. And together we sat down and figured out how we could combine our 2 models to create this inclusive preschool network that would run as a social enterprise. And that was the beginning of Məktəbim back in 2012. But we ran it for a few years with funding from different grant funding from different organizations. And initially we were paying to the teachers to provide the preschool services. Now that works fine as long as you've got the source, the funding to be able to do that. Once the funding finishes, teachers don't want to continue. So we understood that paying teachers to run these preschool services was not going to be sustainable. And the only way to really make it sustainable was adopting a social enterprise model. So we first then started trying to do that with the teachers that we had been paying. But their mind wasn't in that, they didn't have the entrepreneurial mind. They'd been used to being paid on a monthly basis. They couldn't engage in social enterprise, into an enterprise mentality. So then we kept trying the model until eventually in the last few years we found the right model where women who really want to set up a small business, so it's their desire to, they approach to us and then we support them to start building their businesses. It's not been easy still. The entrepreneurial mindset is quite new for Azerbaijan, coming out of post-Soviet system. Particularly sales and marketing is something that's not very natural. So that's been that's been one of the most biggest challenges, real lesson learned. Assume that people know how to sell their services, how to market their services in their community, but they really don't. They have to be literally led by the hand in order to build their market, build their client base. But it's working bit by bit, and I think the partnership with Shaki Moki has really helped to create the brand awareness in general public, so that parents feel comfortable. They understand that this is actually a brand, this is a known brand, and it creates that familiarity and that comfort amongst parents that, okay, I can trust this Məktəbim to put my child there.
Okay, thank you, Gwen. How can Məktəbim support sustainable development in the long term?
So when we first started designing this program, one of the ideas was that if there is more childcare available in the community, it gives more women a break from domestic duties, the time to then be able to either set up their own small business or get a job. And so in the long term, what we hope to see is as the Məktəbim brand develops and grows, more small business development can come from it, so that the parents, the mothers particularly, they're a community. And so when you've established this little community, you then have a group of people that you can start introducing new ideas to. So I think as Məktəbim grows and develops, we like to use that as like a platform to support more women entrepreneurship, more women's skills development, and give more women, and these are women in low-income groups, give more women an opportunity to do something apart from just looking after the child and cooking the daily food.
Thank you. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Gwen Burchell for sharing her valuable insights with us today. It was an inspiring conversation and we have learned so much from her experiences. Thank you again, Gwen.
Thank you, Lama.